Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins. I go live every night with messages that can help you live bigger, better, and bolder. Sometimes I'm solo, and sometimes I have trailblazing women who come on and share their messages with you. They share their wisdom on how you can live your best life. Today has been really transformative, and I want to share a story that's in my memoir, God's Answer is No, Lessons from a Spiritual Life. I'm sharing this message tonight because this morning I was in a retreat with Lisa Peterson's I Prosper group, and she and Vicki Howie, who you can check out here on YouTube, her website is Chakra Boosters, and she's amazing. She talks about the physical, non-physical energy centers in our body that rule different parts of our lives and hold on to traumas and negativity that we carry with us and influence our thoughts and behavior through our whole life. So I want to get right to it. As you see in the name of this show tonight, it's I feared he was going to kill me. And I feared he was going to kill me when I was 5 years old, and it was my neighbor. It was the teenage brother of one of our playmates, and it was probably the scariest thing that's ever happened in my life, and it made this really traumatic imprint on me that I carried through until my teen years. And today I had a new revelation about it. And so let me read this, and then I'm going to share what happened and how it shifted my thinking today, because it enabled me to change my story and find power in that. So that's my intention with you tonight. My intention is to share my story so that you can hear how I shifted my thinking, my perspective that elevated me, empowered me today about speaking up, speaking out, being fearless. So, again, I'm reading from my book, God's Answer is No, my memoir. This passage is called, Please God, Don't Let Him Kill Me. I was 5 years old, and all I wanted to do was play outside until my family was ready to leave for the funeral. On this warm summer evening, I walked around our front yard, past the sandbox and blue plastic swimming pool where my sister and I used to play. I didn't dare get wet or dirty, not in my new dress, my black patent leather shoes, and my white lace anklet socks. And I didn't want to mess up my hair. Mommy had just styled my golden ringlets into 2 ponytails, and now she was doing Catherine's hair while Daddy got dressed. As I stood on our corner lot, the teenage brother of one of our playmates showed up and lured me into their rundown house nearby. Suddenly, I found myself in their bathroom where he laid me on my back on the wet, dirty floor. My heart hammered with terror. I have to get out of here, I thought. I looked around. There was a bathtub and a giant knife glimmering on the sink. Panic shot through me. My mommy's calling me, I cried. She wasn't calling me. She didn't even know I was there. But this guy, I thought, is going to chop me up and kill me. My mommy's calling me. He lifted my legs up in the air. God, please don't let him kill me. My dress fell, exposing me. With my eyes wide with fear, I looked up at my black patent leather shoes and white lace anklet socks. How could I escape? My mommy's calling me. I don't know if at 5 years old I knew what rape was, but I knew about intercourse, and it was for grown-ups who were in love. This was not how it was supposed to happen, nor was it something for kids. So whatever this guy was thinking was really bad. My mommy's calling me. Please let me go home. My mommy's calling me. I imagined my parents coming outside to get me so we could go to the funeral of a family friend. but they wouldn't find me. And they might never know where I was because I had seen news reports about people who killed kids and threw their bodies in the river or the woods. And no, I had to escape. Time seemed to drag on forever as I laid there on the bathroom floor, not knowing what this guy was going to do. Please let me go. My mommy's calling me. He didn't take his clothes off and he didn't touch me. Please, please let me go. My mommy's calling me. Finally, he let me leave. I ran home, terrified, horrified, relieved, but silent. I didn't tell anyone what happened. In my 5-year-old mind, I thought my family would go kill the guy, and then I wouldn't have a family because they would go to prison. That's what my 5-year-old mind thought. And I didn't say anything. I said nothing. All the while I was praying, thank you, God, for saving my life. Thank you, God, that the guy didn't hurt me, kill me. But all the while, that whole scene kept replaying in my mind. Every terrifying moment, everything that I thought he was going to do, the knife glimmering on the sink, the fact that I was in the room with the closed door in his house, fear, terror, laying on the floor, legs up in the air. So I still didn't say anything because I was so terrified. And I didn't know what would happen if I spoke up. So I kept it a secret, and I went to the funeral with our family. And after that, we visited my aunt and uncle. And I went in the bathroom, and there was something in my panties. It was like a peanut skin, and I think it was a cockroach. I don't really know. It was disgusting. I think it was cockroach wings because it was like peanut shell, like crispy, whatever. Maybe on that nasty bathroom floor, a roach crawled into me, my panties, or on me, and its wings were my now disgusting souvenir of that terrifying moment. Still, I said nothing. I went into the living room with my family and visited for the rest of the time. And then we went home, and I still was silent, and that heart-pounding terror replayed in my mind over and over that night when I went to bed, and every night for the rest of my childhood, every night. And I still said nothing. So that passage is in my book because I talk about healing and prayer and faith and spirituality and journaling, and all the things I do to heal and release things. However, that stuck with me. I finally told my parents about it when I was 19, but I've always thought of that story as my fear of speaking up. And as I've discussed on many other shows of Boss Up Goddess, I've discussed my fear of speaking up, whether it's in a personal relationship, a romance, a business meeting, fear of speaking my mind, telling my truth. And so I always thought of that story in the context of not speaking up, not telling anyone what happened to me. But today, during the retreat with Lisa Peterson and the I Prosper group that she leads, she created, and Vicki Howie, who does the chakra boosters. We were doing chakra work, and it was really powerful. We meditated, and I suddenly got this revelation. I did speak up, and it saved my life. I kept saying, my mommy's calling me, my mommy's calling me, please let me go. And he did. So today, that created a huge shift in my thought process. That story became a whole new story. That story that I held on to as sort of a victimhood type that, oh, I don't speak up because something bad happened to me and I kept a secret so long. No, I see that story through a very different lens now. I spoke up and it saved my life. So the message here is multifold right now. First, if you want to identify and heal the things that may be holding you back today as a grown woman, many decades into adulthood like me, it's really, really important to get help. I didn't go into the retreat this morning expecting or even thinking about that story. I thought I had released it, healed it long ago. I wrote about it in my book. I shared it. I was on Let It Rip with Heal Perkins on Fox 2 in Detroit, and I told the story on TV during the Me Too movement when that was first starting. So I've talked about it on television. I thought I had healed it and released it, but today, whole new perspective, shift change, really giving myself more credit than I've given myself. But my message to you, to boss up goddess, is to, in order to rethink some of the things we've held on, the stories that have kept us small, being in a group setting, working with a professional, can help you identify and shift your thinking. And so participating in Lisa Peterson's I Prosper retreat today, getting help from Vicki Howie with her chakra boosters, working with other professionals throughout my life, whether it's a therapist, a coach, a mentor, a trusted friend, those have all enabled me to shift in powerful, powerful ways. And today was exemplary. So my message is, one, if you want to stop playing small and really step into your power and really heal and release anything that's holding you back, being in a group of like-minded, gentle, loving individuals who have the professional capacity to guide you to these types of breakthroughs is really helpful. It's really worth whatever investment of time and money and other resources you might have to make, because the dividends that it pays, the return on your investment is immeasurable. The power I feel now, having shifted my thinking on that huge, huge wound on my psyche in my life, has been so profound today. I feel lighter. I feel different. I feel a clarity that I've not had. And I want you to feel that. So the first way to do that is to work with people, engage in situations, environments, retreats, classes, courses, online programs, coaches, mentors, trusted friends, sister circles, whatever it is that you feel drawn to and that seems to be a good fit for you and your needs, whether it's personal or professional, do it. One blessing of the coronavirus pandemic is that since we're virtual now, we can participate in events that are all across the country and the world. So geography is no longer a restriction. Yes, I've gone to 2 of Lisa Peterson's amazing retreats in Sedona, Arizona in person with my sister Catherine. Transformative in 2018 and then 2019, I think. Well, anyway, they were 6 months apart and they were amazing. So yes, going in person is awesome. But right now, take advantage of connecting with people everywhere. And all these groups online are proliferating in powerful ways, and we all need help. So again, the first way that I'm recommending to step into your power and boss up, goddess, is to connect with like-minded people who can help you make these epiphany moments happen and shift into your new story and leave the old wounded story in the past. The next thing to do is to really, really want to change. A lot of us hold on to these stories like we just let them define us. Like, oh, when I was 5, this happened to me. And as a result, I'm XYZ and I'm afraid of this, that, and the other, and I can't do this. No, we have the power to rewrite our story and leave it in the past. We can rewrite our story and rewrite a new story for our future. And I've been doing that. I've been working and writing today a new story about my future to script the future that I want, to release the old story and script the future so I can manifest the best me possible that's bossing up to myself, bossing up to the world, and being the goddess, the powerful woman that I'm supposed to be. But I can't be that if I'm holding on to all these old fears and stories that weigh you down. So really, really focusing on that change and allowing life to provide these serendipitous and moments that synchronize perfectly with the right people will allow the manifestation to occur. But you have to set the intention, the desire to want it to happen and put yourself in situations. So I did a show about getting out of your comfort zone. And a lot of times being vulnerable and sharing stories about yourself, your pain, your challenges with strangers can be very scary or make you retreat back into your comfort zone. But if you really want to live your best life and get all the things you desire and deserve in this life, your comfort zone is going to keep you freaking miserable, stuck, small. And when you're ready, when you say, I've had enough of this, I am ready to change, and I'm ready to go through the difficult moments of revelation, regret, whatever those feelings are. And then guess what? Forgiveness is the third thing. I forgive myself for holding on to that story, for allowing it to terrify me every night of my childhood when I went to sleep, for allowing it to just take up space in my mind, in my psyche. I forgive myself. I release it. I heal. And I feel so much lighter, smarter, stronger. Always with a spirit of gratitude that God was protecting me. My angels were protecting me. They let me go. I have to share that my book is deeply spiritual. It's called Lessons of a Spiritual Life. Many years later, when I was meditating, the spirit of that guy came to me. He was dead. He's dead. The spirit of that guy came to me and he told me that he was working in sort of an angelic way now from the other side to protect children from situations that I experienced or worse. So I found that very reassuring. So first, get help. Second, really, really want that help. Third, stay in a spirit of gratitude and forgive yourself for whatever it is that you've been holding on for decades and shame, blame, criticizing yourself. I should have done something different, and just release it and heal. So one way, number 4, that you can do this is to journal, of course. I immediately journaled about it after this happened this morning because I had to put words around this tremendous, profound moment, this shift in my mindset. I did speak up. It saved my life. So what story do you have that keeps you in sort of a victim mindset and holds you back, holds you down? And how can you look at it from a new perspective that empowers you? How can you look at it from a new perspective that heals you and allows you to release it? And then, where we are now, look forward and say, I am going to script a new future and give myself credit for being the powerful boss goddess that I am. So journal about that. And also journal about the feelings that come up because with this revelation, I've had like these bursts of all that angst, like literally roiling in my center today. Literally, like just like clouds, like fumes. So I had to do a deep meditation and ask for a healing with Archangel Raphael, which if you read my book and in my book Boss Up Goddess, I teach how to meditate and do these healings on yourself in a meditative state. And oh my gosh, it works because you release that angst. You release it and it goes away. And I felt so peaceful. My heart was super slow. My breathing slows. My body gets so still. I listen to, it's called a Shamanic Journey, and it's a style of meditation that's ancient. And medicine men and medicine women have been using this technique for tens and tens of thousands of years. And now, because the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world is so very thin, I'm certain you've heard the age of Aquarius, the thinning of the veil, the great awakening. It's all happening right now. And it's easier than ever to connect with these supernatural powers. You can call it your intuition, you can call it your higher self, you can call it God, spirit, creator, source, angels, ancestors. So, remember the movie Black Panther? When the main character would like go in the sand, he would go down in the sand and suddenly be with the ancestors who gave him guidance. It's the same thing. It's a practice, it's a spiritual practice. It's been in cultures all around the world, connecting with spirit to get the guidance that you need to be your best today. So I did that to heal. And I also really want to share, speaking of, I used to keep all the parts of myself separate. And last night I talked about the importance of integrating all the parts of yourself. So in the past, I would have just told a story. I wouldn't have gone into my deep spiritual self as an intuitive practitioner certified by Sacred Balance Academy, Lori Lipton in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. I wouldn't have gone into the spiritual side that to some people might sound far out. I don't care. It's my story. It works. And that's why I look and feel as I do many decades later. I'm a testament to that power, to that peace, to that healing. And it's my mission to tell you, to teach you, to share, to show how it can work for you. It is no joke. But when you implement these practices into your life and you attract, because you set the intention to change and boss up and be the goddess that you're meant to be, when you set that intention, you are going to attract people and situations into your life like I experienced this morning. And that's one of many, many transformative moments. So this whole thing to boss up and be the goddess is not an overnight thing. It's all a process, and it takes work. It takes work by first wanting to change, setting the intention, and seeking new information, new people, new experiences, and new teaching environments, learning environments where you can transform. And I've been doing that for many years. And since I started meditating 10 years ago, this past summer, with Dr. Rama Dravidi, the International Society for Spiritual Advancement, he wrote the foreword on my book. He taught me how to meditate first, and then Lori Lipton taught me the Shamanic Journey technique. That's been extremely transformative. But guess what? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. If you read the foreword of the book, Dr. Rama met my mother in line at the Secretary of State, or DMV, wherever he lives, got a different name, in line to renew her license. And there's Dr. Rama, and they just start talking. She was a judge at the time. She's retired. They started talking, and then they invited us to a dinner, like their Hare Krishna, and we went to this lovely prayer ceremony and a vegetarian feast. And then they moved to another state and invited us to visit. So my mother and I went to visit, in their beautiful home that's so peaceful and loving. And Dr. Grama taught us to meditate, which you can learn all about it in here. It's a very simple technique that I applied each night. I applied every night for a few minutes, and pretty soon, oh my gosh, I started clearing out all the fears, the worries, the anxiety, the noise in my head. I became calm. I slept better. I started getting this tremendous connection to spirit that would guide me through my day so powerfully that I felt psychic. I would know stuff. It was amazing. And then when I learned these healing techniques from Shamanic Journeying with Lori Lipton, that's when I was able to heal a lot of these issues that I had. Fears, anxieties released. And now, 10 years later, I'm still having these epiphanies, these transformations, these profound changes. So, my message about that to you is that it's a process and it does not happen like that. If it does for you, awesome, great. Some people have like a near-death experience and they see the light and everything changes. But for most people, it's a process. So you have to be patient with yourself and you have to be gentle with yourself. Because if you continue with these habits that are holding you back, keeping you small, scared, and stuck, you're going to be mad. And I believe that the women who come to Boss Up Goddess and read my book and listen to this show, watch this show, have reached that point of being so freaking mad that they've wasted all this time on all these issues, still not resolved. Then you're ready to boss up Goddess. Can't force it. Can't tell someone to do it. You got to know. It's like the alcoholic who says, I have reached rock bottom and I'm done. No more. No more drinking. And no one can make them stop drinking. They will drink if they want to drink. When they decide to get clean and sober, they will. And it will last because they reached rock bottom. So you don't have to be, rock bottom can have many different definitions. Rock bottom could just mean waking up one day, and just being like, I am so freaking done with feeling like this, thinking like this, acting, living like this. I deserve so much more. That's why it's called Start Living Your Effing Potential. Because when you're caught up in the fear, you're staying stuck small in the alleged comfort zone, you are not living your limitless potential. And that is such a bad feeling. Life is just whizzing past. All these things seemed at one point in your life when you were little or younger, like so attainable. I'm going to have that. I'm going to do that. And then you wake up way later and you haven't done that. You haven't had that. And you realize perhaps life circumstances can be very harsh. So it's not all your fault. But sometimes self-sabotaging thoughts, self-talk, behaviors, addictions that don't mean smoking a crack pipe in an alley. Addictions take much more insidious forms in our lives. You can be addicted to panic. You've always had a panic response to things and you get addicted to it because it gives you an adrenaline rush. And then you don't know how to survive without panic. And you're so used to that cycle as a huge distraction, because when you're in a panic, you're trying to find a solution really fast and you forget about everything else because you're so focused on the panic. Sometimes, again, life circumstances create that reality, but sometimes we get addicted to that kind of thinking. You can also be addicted to love, like the rush of new romance, and just be a serial dater or always seeking the next high of a romantic connection. And guess what? With our devices these days, it's in the palm of your hands. Limitless numbers of people to connect with or hook up with. I hope you're not doing that during the pandemic, but you can still go online and, flirt. And so there can be an addiction to the high of romance, the chase, all that stuff. Addiction to sugar is something that I have recovered from. I was truly addicted to sugar. It was my drug of choice, and it changes your body chemistry. That's the thing. These addictions change our body chemistry. And let me just get back to the main story here. Addiction to fear is something I released today because that story was totally rooted in fear of speaking up, and I released that. But many of us have an addiction to fear. It's like our go-to place, and it's serving some kind of purpose because it's holding us back. And it's at the same time keeping us safe from risking things, speaking up, speaking out, doing this, doing that, taking that bold move where there's risk, ridicule, failure, criticism, financial loss, risk. So the fear keeps us from ever taking those risks. But guess what? If we release the fear and the negative thinking and think, well, what if I speak up, speak out, take the bold action, and have tremendous success helping people, making money, influencing the world in a positive, powerful way? Shifting your perspective, shifting the way you think of things, creating a new story and leaving the old story in the past. Very powerful. But all of this takes work. And I'm here to inspire you, to show you that the work pays off. The work pays off, and it starts in a moment like I experienced today. It starts in a moment of revelation, often even unanticipated. It starts in a moment where I set the momentum to evolve, learn, transform. And then this gift that I received today, this blessing of revelation, has enabled me to feel like I am bossing up to truly be the goddess that I'm supposed to be. If you watch some of my other shows, you'll hear the story about where the goddess concept came from. And it's truly, truly a supernatural, spiritual quest. It's not about being a diva or better than anybody or wanting people to serve me. It's about me being of service by utilizing my gifts, talents, abilities, and life purpose to help you. So I feared he was going to kill me. I used my voice. I spoke up, and I saved my life. And of course, God was watching over and allowed me to leave, made the guy let me leave. I carried it through as a story of sort of confirming why I'm too scared to speak up in life. And then today, at the I Prosper Lisa Peterson retreat, Sedona, Arizona, virtually, Vicki Howie, exploring our non-physical energy centers and the wounds that we carry energetically in our bodies and our minds and our hearts and our spirits. Revelation, epiphany, transformation. It all happened today. I want you to step forward fearlessly and fiercely, seeking this type of transformation when you're ready, when you have that moment where you wake up and you're just like, I am done suffering, worrying, playing small, being stuck, being scared. I am ready to boss up, goddess. This show gives you tips every night from me and the amazing women that I interview on how to do that. And my new book, Boss Up Goddess, Start Living Your Effing Potential, does exactly that as well. Please drop me a comment. Tell me what you're wanting to transform in your life. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm very grateful for your time and attention to explore this idea of how you can change your story rewrite the script for your future and step forward and live the life that you desire and deserve while helping people everywhere. It's time to boss up, goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins. I'm very grateful that you took the time to listen. I hope it has created an epiphany, inspiration for you tonight. If you're getting value, please like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell so you'll know every time I go live or upload a new video. And again, thank you for watching. And remember, you have the power. I'll see you next time.